Hello, I'm here updating again. It's been, I think, about a month since I did this last time, so there's a couple of things going on. Caleb actually had his follow-up appointment with GI on March 14th. And we went, and they still don't know what's going on. I was telling him he's still having a very hard time going to the bathroom. I told him that he had done well for a while, and then whenever he kind of stopped drinking, it sent him back a little bit, and he was back to being constipated. So he was asking me the doctor was asking me what he looked like when he was trying to go, and I described it, and he said it just sounds like he is holding it because it's quite painful for him, so he just doesn't want to go. Which, I can understand. I don't think that I would really want to do something that's painful if I could help it, and he doesn't understand that he has to go, so it just told me to up his dosage again on his laxatives and to not be so stingy, I guess, with giving him a suppository. So we're back on that track, and we brought him home. Oh, he said that if he started to get impacted, he would have to get an enema or he would have to get a GI tract sent down his throat, and both are quite painful, so we're hoping to not have that problem. But I sent him home, or we got home, and Danny had come home, and he was still miserable. And I think this past weekend actually we gave him a suppository once when Danny was here, and he went, but it was still very hard. There was still blood in the stool, so we had to up the laxative to even more. So he was taking 2 adult dosages of Miralax and his lactulose. Then this past Saturday, I believe it was, I gave him a suppository, and he had gone. And then I don't know if it was just finally the laxatives on top of the suppository were working, but they were working almost too much. He was having diarrhea. He was going, probably 4 times a day for a week. So then it was like, I didn't want to give him a suppository because I couldn't find a happy medium with him. And that was kind of hard, so I swear that if we would have weighed him right now, he would have lost weight because of all that he got out of his system, which is probably good, so it doesn't have too much hard stools in there, hopefully. But now we're back to hopefully getting him into his routine with his laxatives, and hoping it just won't be as painful, so he'll eventually let go and relax a little bit. But beyond that, let's see, March 16th was the 1-year anniversary of Caleb's heart surgery, and it was a very, very, very emotional day for me, because I remember just so vividly, like it was yesterday, him going in for his heart surgery, and I remember waiting and waiting and so scared that he wasn't going to live through the surgery, because before he had his heart surgery, he was having a really, really hard time with the medication he was on, with his heart essentially failing. So he was really gray before his heart surgery, and every time I went to see him, I would see death in his little eyes, and it was very hard to see him, because beforehand in the hospital, he was, a pretty happy baby. He wasn't ever a complaining, whining baby, but about 2 weeks before, he was miserable. We couldn't touch him, we couldn't pick him up because his bones were just inflamed and hurt to touch him, and it was miserable. You couldn't change his diaper without him screaming. So I remember being scared that his body wasn't going to be able to take such a drastic surgery, and I just remember being scared. I tried so hard to laugh and not think about it, but it was very terrifying. And the night this year of this anniversary, I had a really hard time sleeping. I would just go and stare at Caleb, and I'm just forever amazed that this little boy that was hooked up to everything, that couldn't do anything, that couldn't roll over, that couldn't sit up in the hospital, nothing, is so adventurous and so happy now. And it just really overwhelms me with such an emotion that I can't even articulate. Um, so I had decided that probably, I'm sure I'll do this every year, but I feel like that day is the day that he went from just kind of coping, just surviving, to finally having a life. You know, a few days after that surgery, we saw his first real smile, his first coo, and it was just like he woke up and he said, I'm gonna live. And so I feel like this day is like just like his birthday, so I celebrated it that way. I put him in his birthday onesie. I got him a cupcake from Publix, and just let him go to town and just kind of celebrated the fact that he's still here. And there were so many days that I didn't think he would still be here. And he did the same thing as he did on his birthday. He actually just eats the icing. He doesn't eat the cupcake, which is very much like me. For those of you that know me, I love the icing. um, but it was an amazing, amazing, amazing day for me. And I'm very proud that he's made it as far as he has, and very proud of his little accomplishments. And beyond that, we actually one day I was by myself and I called the occupational therapist to see if she wanted to watch Caleb, because her kids were on spring break. And I brought Caleb over there just so I could have a little just time to walk around Walmart, if that's what I wanted to do, and take my time and not have to rush out of there. And I was a little hesitant because Caleb's been with family members. I've left him there. I've left him with Danny, and it was never anything that I thought about because it was just very natural. But this was, in essence, like a babysitter. I mean, he knew her, but is a very odd sensation to feel like I just dropped him off at somebody's house and left. But they said he had a wonderful time. She has 4 kids, and he had a ball with the kids. He actually was trying to slide, and he had so much fun. They said he didn't cry once, which is so great. It really eased a lot of my fears. And right now we're trying to work on getting him to kind of crawl up on different textures, different feelings, because when he tries to like step up a ladder, we'll say, instead of using his legs to go from one rung to the other one, he pulls up using just his arms, and he tries not to use his legs at all. I just don't think he feels very confident in his legs, and I think that's a big part of why he won't let go of furniture when it comes to walking, is he just doesn't feel confident enough to let go and rely just on his legs. He likes to rely a lot on his hands and his arms. So we're working on that, and today we actually met with a speech therapist that is in the same little strip mall that the occupational therapist is at, and she's going to start coming in to occupational therapy with Gail, who's Caleb's therapist now, and working with him with his speech, because we're just trying to get him, like I said, he's 4 or 5 months behind on speech, which is very well normal for sitting in a hospital for so long, but we're just trying to give him a jump start, because he's saying a lot of noises, but he's not saying anything substantial, so we're trying to get that going, which will be very exciting for me. And he is having a great time exploring every part of this house. He's actually hurt himself a few times pulling things down and cutting. He actually has a cut right now above his eye where a picture frame fell. But you know, he's doing what any curious toddler would do, so I'm not too worried about it. My parents are coming down here for Easter, and I'm so excited about it. It feels like I haven't seen them in years. But the times that they were down here, they were here when Caleb was in the hospital, so it wasn't ever like a vacation. It was more, you know, worrying constantly, always at the hospital. So I'm excited to have like them here for an actual vacation instead of a, you know, rough time in their life. And this is Jake. He wants to make an appearance. But anyway, everything else is going great. Danny's doing okay. He's having a rough time staying away, but he understands it's kind of what has to happen right now with his work, and especially with the Japan issue and the nuclear plants right now. There's not too many plants that are hiring right now. They're kind of in a standstill because it's caught the nuclear world on